The Dodgers didn't just win the offseason, they ended it. Kyle Tucker is joining the boys in blue. The top free agent chose LA, and the rest of baseball is still playing catch up to the gold standard of this sport.
You are Locked On Dodgers, your daily Los Angeles Dodgers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? I'm Harry Ruiz. That's Travis Rodgers, and it's time for Locked On Dodgers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. On today's show, after our last show on Tuesday, I said I was going to speak it into existence. A big move was going to happen, and guess what? Kyle Tucker is a Dodger. We'll dive deep into everything regarding the biggest free agent signing of 2026. Moves like this don't just shake rosters, they also shake the entire sport. Are we inching closer to a labor war? Is this the breaking point for baseball economics? We're talking lineup fallout, because once you drop Kyle Tucker into this offense, everything changes. Roles, pressure, weaknesses, gone. But first, we break down how the Dodgers pulled this off, because Travis, this contract structure matters just as much as the player and what this says about where the league is right now.
Absolutely. I can't wait to talk about it on today's episode of Locked On Dodgers, which is brought to you by FanDuel. The wild card round is here. FanDuel is officially in playoff mode, so visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL game day. But Harry, let me just make sure that we don't bury the lead. I know that usually if you watch us on YouTube, that you know that Harry Ruiz is covered in Dodger gear head to toe. You will notice the hat, a girl dad hat. Congratulations, my friend, on becoming a father, and give us all the stats. Give us what we want to know, how Harry Ruiz father is doing the day after the birth of his baby girl.
Sleep is almost inexistent. We weren't supposed to have our baby until next week on Wednesday, but yet here we are. And by the way, perfect description. I literally took my socks off. Dodgers.
There you go.
So you were completely on it, Travis. Even though I'm decked out now in pink, I still got my Dodgers gear. And hey, the onesie's back in the background. So baby girl,
congratulations, Harry. Congratulations.
She's a Dodger fan, but her mama is from Houston, so we know that she's gonna. Hey, Kyle Tucker's now with the Dodgers. Let's see if we can bring her over to our side, the winning side.
Do your job and make that baby girl a Dodger fan. Do the right thing.
No doubt about it. Hey, with Kyle Tucker, it's like the embarrassment of riches. She can't root for another team. Well, you can catch Travis every weekday from 3 to 6 in the afternoon on the Travis Endo Marco Show on 710 ESPN LA, where I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of talk about Dodger baseball all weekend long. And if you're not in Southern California or can't get to a radio, the ESPN LA app makes it easy to listen to him and Super Bowl champ DeMarco Farr on it. As for me, when I'm not on the mic calling USC football or Raiders games in Espanol or carrying my little baby girl, this is my home base, breaking down Dodgers baseball with you day in and day out. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. You picked the right place. And if you're an everydayer, you already know the deal. This show doesn't move without you. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that like button, jump into the comments, and make sure that you're subscribed. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows, a quick 5-star rating really helps more Dodgers fans discover the show. And remember, you can always be part of the conversation on the Locked On Dodgers listener line, 279-3-LOCKED or 279-356-2533. All right, let's get into it. C-Star, get star. Kyle Tucker is a Dodger. On Monday, I read a lot of comments on YouTube, Travis, in the comment section of the episode where we spoke about the Dodgers signing Ryan Fitzgerald and Andy Ibanez, where some of our viewers said, and I quote, "Shopping at the 2-cent store. Yay." And another one said, "With those guys they signed, do not expect anyone big." End quote. Well, do the Dodgers have your attention now? Kyle Tucker is officially a boy in blue on a 4-year deal worth $240 million, nearly $250 million. And make no mistake, this wasn't just about money. This was about timing, leverage, and fit, Travis, because Tucker waited. The Dodgers waited. And when the moment was right, Los Angeles did what Los Angeles does.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bomb that fell, and when it was announced, and the price is extraordinary. I mean, it's $60 million a year for someone that's never won an MVP, for someone that is a very good player. Don't get me wrong, but it is a shocking deal to me. I look, I'm really kind of been going back and forth with this for a while. You were talking about it earlier this week. You've been saying they need, and they do need an outfielder. They do, they are a much better team today than they were yesterday with the addition of Kyle Tucker. He's a really good player. This is another brick in the wall of, the criticism that the Dodgers will continue to get because of their economic might, because of their, absolutely ravenous appetite for championships. They don't give a what about what anyone else is saying about them. They want to go out and get the very best players and put together the very best team. And I think they've done that. I keep going back to the number, and look, it's not my money other than the sense that, I'll buy a couple of Modelo's at the game that eventually makes its way into Kyle Tucker's pocket. But I keep coming back to this, Harry. If Kyle Tucker is worth $60 million a year, and he is, and the reason he is because that's what someone gave him. That's what he's worth. The Shohei Ohtani deal is the greatest deal in the history of sports. If Shohei Ohtani is worth $70 million, 4 MVPs, the faucet of money that he has turned on internationally, and Kyle Tucker is worth 60, like Ohtani is the greatest deal ever. Kyle Tucker's a good baseball player, a very good baseball player. Shohei Ohtani might be the greatest player of all time, and they make basically the same. That's crazy to me. And I know that how this stuff works, and the prices keep going up and up and up and up and up. But it just kind of puts me back in that frame of mind that because Ohtani has done what he's done, because he's helped this team get to the level that they've come, other stars want to come here. Other stars want to be a part of this. And I keep thinking of Shohei when I see that number at Kyle Tucker.
Travis, did you see the report from Sportico about how much money Shohei Ohtani raked in 2025?
I did.
$100 million in sponsorship and marketing deals. Not even playing baseball. With everything outside the field, he brought in $100 million bucks. So of course Shohei is worth way more than $70 million. But also look at it this way: it was 2 years ago. The market was completely reset by Shohei Ohtani. And the way that contracts work with the deferred money and the way that it gets analyzed towards the penalty, the tax penalty, all that, Shohei's contract is around $45-46 million per year. So they went over with Juan Soto when he signed with the Mets, and it's like, okay, we got to go over that amount. And now you go with Kyle Tucker, and he goes over that amount as well. And it's just the way where we're guys who work in the NFL. It's the quarterback club. What did they used to do? They call each other, hey, I got this amount of money. Make sure you don't take a penny less, because then the next guy, he won't take a penny less. And then the day that I need to get renewed, I won't get a penny less. It's the same situation here where agents are involved, and it's all about getting more money. And for some players like Shohei, it was like, hey, 10 years, $700 million, that's where he's going to sign. Right here for Tucker, he isn't just a star. He was the star of this free agent class, a player who is a left-handed power, elite defense, postseason resume, and here's the deal. He's entering his age 29 season, right in the heart of his prime. And if you're able to get him with a structure where he gets opt-outs after year 2 and year 3, that for him is perfect, because he'll be able to enter free agency again if he kills it with the Dodgers being protected in the lineup. And we're going to be talking about the lineup and how we see it structured coming up here on the show. It's like, man, he'll be able to rake whenever he has Shohei Ohtani up top, Mookie Betts, Will Smith behind him, Teoscar Hernandez. It's like, dude, this is a win-win scenario for Kyle Tucker, who'll be able to win, who'll be able to get his stats, and who'll be able to potentially be a free agent in 2 or 3 years' time.
Yeah, no, it's a great deal for him. It's a great deal for the Dodgers. They got younger. They got better defensively. They added a big bat that to say that they needed a big bat, I guess is technically true, that you could always use a guy like Kyle Tucker to make it team, but it's a home run across the board. It is a great signing. And like you mentioned, Kyle, if he kills it, he can go dip his toe in the water in free agency all over again and see what he can get. Maybe $60 million a year will feel like peanuts 2 years from now. I don't know. Shoot, maybe there's no Major League Baseball 2 years from now. I think this is going to accelerate that, far more than it probably should. But he got what he needed to get. The Dodgers the Dodgers had 2 holes. They filled both of those holes. They might have gotten the best position player available on the market. They might have gotten the best pitcher available on the market. It is just it is an embarrassment of riches. And, I guess this is good. I guess that knowing that if you don't win the World Series, it's a catastrophe, because they certainly should. They have the best team by a mile. But I just wonder if this isn't the straw that ultimately breaks the economic camel's back, and we miss a whole bunch of baseball because this thing has gone haywire.
And we're going to dive deep into that also later on this show. But look, Travis, how many Dodgers contracts have opt-outs? Not many. And
Yamamoto and Tucker, right?
Yeah, and Shohei, his opt-outs are like not even an opt-out. It's like, okay, if Andrew Friedman is no longer with the organization, then I'm able to deep into leaving the organization. This team doesn't do that.
No, Shohei has key man clauses where if this guy leaves or that guy leaves, then I can get out. But they're not the traditional opt-outs. And look, I get, apparently other than the money, that was a big sticking point for Tucker, is that he wanted some opt-outs along the way. And I get it. I mean, you get what you ask for, and all they can do is say no. And he got what he wanted, and they're absolutely loaded going into this season. And let's enjoy it, because it may be a while before we get another one.
Yeah, and look, I want to say this. The Dodgers bending the knee and giving him the contract structured this way tells you through 2 things. First, they wanted this player, not just a player, a corner outfielder that was the clearest remaining need on this roster, and Tucker was the cleanest solution both at the plate and also defensively. And second, the Dodgers are still thinking 3 steps ahead, because those opt-outs line up perfectly with the organization's outfield pipeline. If Tucker plays like a superstar, he can cash in again. If prospects break through, the Dodgers keep flexibility and everybody wins. Talk about Zaire Hope, Josue De Paula, other prospects that they have in the organization. I feel it's a win-win situation. You can win the World Series 3 consecutive times, and then whatever happens in 2027, but hopefully baseball's back, and then you could even have your prospects ready to take over in that position at a very flexible spot for them, both in youth and money-wise.
Yeah, look, this is a not even a home run for the Dodgers. It's a grand slam for the Dodgers. I think it's a massive whiff for baseball at large. I'm a Dodger fan. I love that the Dodgers have the best team. I think that it's going to be incredibly fun to watch, the Galacticos or the Avengers or whatever you want to call this group of guys coming together. It's going to be fun to watch them play 162 games. Who knows what the ceiling for this team is? I know we can kind of get into that. This is not good for baseball. This is not good that every good player that comes loose goes to one team. And it happens to be the team that we love, so it's kind of fun to watch, but they got to figure something out, because this is not good for the health of the sport.
Hey, look, that used to happen with the Yankees, and it was like, man, they got this guy.
But there's a big difference, right? I think the biggest difference is the Dodgers, it's the scariest thing that's ever existed, because the guy with the most money is also the smartest and the most strategic and the most thoughtful. Usually the guy with the most money is more like what you see a Steve Cohen, a George Steinbrenner, and these things that, a Dan Snyder in the NFL, where Jerry Jones, where they spend the money, but they don't spend it well. The Dodgers spend it really, really well. The smartest guy has the most money, and he knows what he's doing, and this is what you get. And as a Dodger fan, great, but you need a league. You need a league, and I don't know if they have one right now.
Hey, we'll send all of the rest of the teams to AAA to figure it out and win a championship down there. Yeah. But look, the Dodgers didn't just add talent. they added certainty. And that's why this move feels inevitable in hindsight, because when the Dodgers see a star who fits this timeline, the culture, and the competitive window, they don't miss. Edwin Diaz, Kyle Tucker, game over.
Indeed.
Next on Locked On Dodgers, let's talk about what this actually looks like on the field, because when you drop Kyle Tucker into this lineup, the Dodgers go from ridiculously deep to downright unfair.
The divisional round is here, and FanDuel is officially in playoff mode. Every game day during the NFL playoffs, FanDuel is giving customers even more ways to get in on the action, because right now, every NFL playoff game day, FanDuel users get a profit boost pack waiting for them inside the app, which means each game day, you'll see a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts you can apply to the bets you like the most. You open up that profit boost pack first thing on game day, and you see what boost you want to apply. The boosts, they let you lean into the things that your instincts are already telling you to begin with, whether you're back in that momentum, the hot team, the team that's got the great defense, the team that's got the MVP quarterback, or the coach that you think is the smartest. The boosts, they give you more juice on the bets that you already like instead of forcing you to bet something new. So every play feels bigger, and the boosts, they make your bets feel that way too. So you make your picks, then apply your profit boost to go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs are rolling along. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day.
Thank you for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. You already live your team every day. Now take it up a level and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club today and get Locked On Dodgers with no interruptions, members-only Discord access, and more, all for just $5 a month or $50 a year. Go to lockedondodgers.supercast.com or check the link in the show notes to learn more. Pick your poison. This lineup is absurd. Here's the scary part. Kyle Tucker doesn't have to be the guy. Look at this projected lineup and tell me where you're pitching around anyone. Leading off, Shohei Ohtani, lefty. Mookie Betts, righty. Freddie Freeman, lefty. Will Smith, righty. Kyle Tucker, I slotted him at the 5th spot.
Why
lefty. Teoscar Hernandez, righty. Max Muncy, lefty. Andy Pages, righty. Tommy Edman, switch hitter. I mean, you literally, like, you can't go to the bullpen just thinking it's like, okay, I got a matchup in my favor right here with the next couple. It's like, dude, it's crazy. I was going through this lineup last night, Travis, and I was like,
yeah,
how is somebody going to go in there saying, like, we got a real good chance today?
They're not. I was chatting with some friends last night, and I asked the question. I'm going to ask you, Harry, and our Locked On Everydayers can put it in the comments how they can answer this question too, and we can talk about it as we move forward. That lineup that you just described. Okay, 2 things. This is going to take me a second to lay this out, but I would still argue that the strength of this Dodger team isn't even what you just described. I still think it's on the mound. And that is as good as that lineup is that you just went through, where basically you just listed 9 all-stars, okay? That's not the best part of their team. The best part of their team is on the mound. The best part of their team is Yamamoto and Ohtani and Snell and Glasnow. And we'll see what Sasaki looks like. And we'll see what Emmett Sheehan and Robleski and all these great arms that they're going to put. Gavin Stone's coming back and all these guys. That's the strength of their team. So here's my question for you. Pick your Dodger pitcher. Let's just say it's Yamamoto, okay? And that lineup. Paul Skeens is pitching against that team. Paul Skeens, best pitcher in baseball. Tarek Skubal. Pick the best guy. How often are they going to beat that team? Out of 10 times? Twice? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe once. And those are the best pitchers in baseball. This is where it gets like crazy. And baseball's never seen something like this, where you have 9 all-stars. You've got 5 all-stars on the mound. You've got an all-star in the bullpen. You've got a manager that knows exactly how to deploy these pieces. There is no counter to this. You could have Paul Skeens. Go ahead. He's not going to pitch 9 innings. our guy's going to match Paul Skeens or at least get really close, or Tarek Skubal, or, again, take your pick. And this is a concern. I keep struggling for the word, Harry. I don't know what it is, but is that fun after a month or two where they're just every night's like, oh, okay, they won again. Oh, okay. And we're Dodger fans, so I get it, but I don't watch the Globetrotters because it's stupid. It's not competitive, and they've put together a thing that I really fear may be uncompetitive. There is no solution for that lineup. And as I say it, I'm smiling because it's my team. It's the team that I like. But just watching, like if you watched a college football team play a high school football team, and they win, they score 80 points in every game, and they win every game 80-7, when does that become boring? Pretty quickly. And I think we're getting close to something like that. And it's not just so great for you, for me, Dodger fans. I don't know how great it is for baseball.
Yeah, no, and look, I'll be 100% honest. For me, it is fun. I love watching this team, and baseball's gonna baseball. Sometimes you get this sport where it's like last year we were like, the Dodgers, they're gonna roll through everything. They're gonna win 120 games. It's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be fun. And we struggled through it for a while. It wasn't the easiest of seasons. We know that injuries happen. We know that sometimes you see in the NBA load management. And over here, you could be like, okay, let's rest these guys that we want at 100% in August, September, October, and then we'll get them in the line, in the rotation for when it matters most, and let's have Yamamoto be the workhorse. Baseball's going to baseball, and when we think, hey, it's going to be 120 wins, we're going to end up like a season like last year or the year before that, where we're like, dude, we're so great, and then in the playoffs, we almost get ousted by the Padres in the first round, and we needed a miracle with a bullpen game in Game 4, and then win Game 5 at home to then end up rolling through the Mets and the Yankees and making it look easy. It's baseball. And how many times did the Dodgers have like some of the best teams in the sport in the 2010s, and they made it to the World Series? They weren't able to win the World Series, or they were able to win the division, they lost in the divisional series, or in the championship series against the Cardinals. And even look, when we were getting eliminated by the Diamondbacks and by the Padres in the divisional series, and we're like, what the hell? We got Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts in that lineup, and we can't get through the first round of the playoffs because the Dodgers has the best record. They were making it straight, not playing in the wild card. And I was like, what the hell? It just happens. I don't feel like I'm going to be like, oh man, they're just too good. I'm going to enjoy every time they win. And there's going to be 2-1 wins. There's going to be 10-0 wins. And speaking of Paul Skeens, we played him twice last year. We went 0-2 against the Pirates in those 2 games against him. Tarek Skubal, opening day in LA, super competitive game, super entertaining game, but they ended up getting the win by 1 run. It was close. So it happens. It's baseball. I ain't going to complain that my team right now is the one outspending everybody else and getting stuff done, to say it the right way. And they got to take advantage of it because the way that baseball is structured might change soon. So they have their ducks lined up, and it's like, hey, we have a chance at doing something that hasn't been done in over a quarter century. Go ahead and do it. Take advantage of it.
Yeah, I hear you, and you bring up a good point about how baseball will baseball, and it usually does. And I don't think this team's going to win 120 games. That's not the point I'm getting at. But this is inevitable. This is not the team last year. It's much better. They won the World Series last year. This is not the team 2 years ago. This is way better. They won the World Series 2 years ago. I get it hasn't happened. I know that anything is possible, but again, I'm conflicted because I'm excited to see it as well. I'm excited to see it unfold and how good it may actually be. But I also understand that competition is what makes us love this stuff. That competition is what makes us, the reason you love sports, the reason I love sports, at the end of it isn't just to see our team win. That's a huge part of it. I understand that, but we don't know what's going to happen. It's one of the few things in life where I have no idea how this is going to end. There's a million different variables, and they've reduced those variables to a very small group. And I just fear that it may be something that becomes, we got one group of fans that's enjoying this, and then a whole bunch of other fans are like, this is just kind of goofy. I worry about that. I really do. And it's fun being on the right side of it. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited to see how, exciting some of these games can be, but I worry about the health of the sport. I really do. This is stacking the deck to a level that I think may be kind of weird. Get through get to the postseason, and all of a sudden, when they do fire every bullet, when you do have all 9 of those guys, when you do have your full complement of pitchers, and I get it, guys get hurt. I'm not naive. I understand it, but the redundancies in this thing is really something else. It's like nothing we've ever seen.
And that's the thing. It's like, it's not a lineup. It's a stress test for opposing pitching staff. So it's like left-handed thunder, right-handed power, plate discipline, defense, add Kim in there, speed. This lineup doesn't give you an inning off, and here's what matters most: balance when it comes to a lineup right there. And it's like, sometimes it's like, okay, you got your Bryce Harpers and your Kyle Schwarbers and then Trey Turner, but then after you get after those guys, it's like, hey, we feel like very confident getting 5 through 9 with the Phillies or the Blue Jays, that they were like very balanced, but there was a point where it was like, okay, we feel better going against these guys than over here, the top of the lineup with a Springer, even though he wasn't at 100%. I remember being like, please don't let Springer be the one that ends game 6, because he has that kind of clutch gene. But then Kike Hernandez comes in and be like, nope, we're going to game 7. You look at teams. I remember going to Dodger Stadium when it was Mike Trout and Albert Pujols at the top of the lineup for the Angels. And I was like, oh boy, just get through these two guys and we're in a better position. Opposing teams are like, holy crap, here come the Dodgers. But at the same time, when you look at a lineup that's constructed with Ohtani, Betts, Freeman, Smith, Tucker, Hernandez, Muncy, Páez, Edman, it's like, well, they're the bad guys. They're the villains. They're fans.
Don't worry about that.
So every great Hollywood script has a bad guy. And for us, it's Hollywood. It's LA being the bad guy right now. And if any other team wins the 2026 World Series, it's going to be the entire sport of baseball saying, ha, we beat you. We got you. And it's the Dodgers' homework to be like, no, you're not going to do that. And I love it that they win one World Series, they go and restack the team. They win another World Series, they go and it's like, okay, which were our 2 weaknesses? Closer and a corner outfielder. Let's go get the 2 best guys available for that position. I ain't going to be like complaining or anything. And I also get your point where we're like, man, it might be unfair. Well, life ain't fair. You got to go out there and enjoy these good times. I hope they last for the rest of my life, but if not, I'll remember. It's like, hey, the 2020s, that was the decade of the Dodgers.
I think you bring up a good point. It won't last forever. Nothing lasts forever. This will come to an end. These players will get older, and acing your test every time doesn't always happen, no matter how much you want to. I think the one of the important points is it does speak to getting an owner that wants to win, that is committed to winning and doing everything possible. And I respect that a great deal. And this has nothing to do with Kyle Tucker as a player, as a guy, or anything else. It's not great for the game. And without a league, you don't have pounding other teams is not interesting to me. It really, truly isn't. And I just fear that this is going to be lopsided to a point where it's like, okay, like smashing your little brother out on the driveway. It's not fun. It's fun once, but just because you're, 9 inches taller than he is, it's like, okay, this is not fun anymore.
Our little brother pounced us, the Angels, last year.
Oh, please stop.
Hey, they swept us in LA. They kicked our butt.
Okay, but that's not the point. We're not playing to beat the Angels in July. Who cares? The Dodgers are going to have a 6-month spring training, and then they're going to show up and just like, beep, and it's going to be, I don't know. I'm conflicted. I really am.
If baseball is like complaining about it, the Padres were 1 win away at home from sending the Dodgers home.
Not against this team anymore.
The Blue Jays were 2 wins away from being World Series champions in November. They weren't able to get the job done. They put themselves in positions, and they weren't able to do it. Now, the rich get richer, the strong get stronger, and the rest of baseball keeps crying even louder. Shout out to my guy JT the Brick, including him. I saw his tears on social media yesterday. Man, is that he roots for a small market team, man. He has a team that isn't spending money. You look at that. When was the last time that they won a World Series? It's like when you talk about a small market team like the New York Yankees and their fans right now crying the way they are, it's kind of embarrassing, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing: the rich didn't just get richer; they got smarter with the way that
they are smarter. They're more aggressive too. I like I said, it's a really weird set of circumstances because I like it. I'm glad it's my team. Excuse me, but I don't know. I like competition. I like not knowing what's going to happen, and I think that we've eliminated a great portion of that.
Hey, and you've already been talking a lot about it, so let's go with this. Coming up on Locked On Dodgers, we're going to pull the curtain back even further because signings like this don't just affect the Dodgers, they may be pushing Major League Baseball towards its next major confrontation. Don't forget to follow Locked On Dodgers not only on YouTube, but on X, Instagram, and TikTok as well. You can find Travis on social media at Travis Rodgers on X and Instagram. Rodgers just like Dodgers, but replace the D with an R. Meanwhile, I'm at Harry Ruiz on X, at Harry_Ruiz on Instagram, and at Harry Ruiz_ on TikTok. Too big to ignore? Baseball's tension boils over. Now, let's zoom out because moves like this, Kyle Tucker signing with the Dodgers for an average of $60 million per year, don't happen in a vacuum. Tucker signing with LA isn't causing the next labor fight, but it's pouring gasoline on an already lit flame because the current CBA expires on December 1st, and the warning signs are everywhere. Owners see payroll gaps growing. Fans see the Dodgers stacking stars, and once again, the word salary cap starts getting whispered even louder. From the owner side, the argument is predictable. Competitive imbalance, financial disparity, sustainability, but from the player's side, absolutely not, Travis. When you see a guy like Kyle Tucker make $60 million a year, because I'll ask you the question, is Tucker worth $60 million a year?
Well, sure. Somebody gave it to him, so he's worth it. You know, I'm pretty practical when it comes to that. You're worth exactly what someone's willing to pay you. Not a penny more, not a penny less. That you are worth what somebody's willing to give you. So yes, he's worth it. What's the most popular league in this country? It's the NFL by a million miles. And one of the reasons that the NFL is popular, one of, not the only, but one of the reasons is you have teams like the Chicago Bears and Jacksonville that occasionally just pop up at it like, oh, look at that. Wow. And they got a chance to do it. Yes, you have teams that are good at whether it's the Pats or the Kansas City and some of these teams. But every team starts the season thinking that of the 32 teams in the NFL, I bet 26 or 27 of them think if we get a break here or there, we got a chance to get there. There's a couple that are lousy and that it doesn't work out, but you're always close. Baseball's not like that. You got 5 or 6 that have a real chance to win the World Series. You got 5 or 6 more that have a chance to get into the playoffs. And then you got 20 that are like, what the hell are we doing here? I'm sympathetic to that. It's not healthy. It's not the Dodgers' fault that it's set up like that. You know, the Dodgers are one of the halves, and it's not their fault that it works like this. But I do think we're getting closer and closer to those 20 teams that I talked about saying, I'm not going to do this anymore unless we get some sort of thing. Now, part of that is because they want to put more money in their pockets and they're bad owners and they don't want to reinvest in their team. I understand that. But I also understand that competition is at the core of all of this. And you can't ask the Kyle Tucker comes up, Shohei Ohtani comes up, Yamamoto comes up, all of these guys. Teams like the Kansas City Royals, the Cleveland Guardians, the Pittsburgh Pirates, they have no chance of ever getting one of these guys other than drafting and developing them. And they know Paul Skeens is leaving. It's just a matter of time of when he's leaving and putting some structures in place to keep these guys. If the NFL were like baseball, Josh Allen would be on the New York Giants by now. He'd be on the Los Angeles Rams. The Buffalo Bills would have zero chance of getting to keep him. In the NFL, they get to keep him. And I'm a capitalist. I understand that this is what works for the players. I understand that. It's not going to work for the fans. It works for the fans in LA, doesn't work for the fans in other places, doesn't work for the owners in other places. And it's going to be a long, long haul for this to get ironed out, because the players have always won these standoffs, always. And we'll see whether or not the owners are committed to saying, if we got to torpedo baseball for a year, 2 years, who knows how long it may take. But I think we are getting really close to, because when you hear guys like the Yankees kind of starting the lineup on the other side, that's when you know you're getting in for something really, really serious.
Yeah, and all you need is 8 owners to say no. And at the end of the day, it's like you can easily find 8 franchises that are willing to say no, and then it's like, crap, now what?
Yeah.
It's like, well, you got to wait and see. And for fans, it's going to absolutely suck, but it's not just the Dodgers doing this for baseball. Look at the way that the Blue Jays are spending. Look at Bregman's contract.
It's not 1 against 29 as far as the economics go, but it's 5 against 25, and that's not great numbers either.
Yeah, no, but there's money to be made. But how many teams had the opportunity to get Andrew Friedman? Heck, the Rays had them, and they were having success. And after they let Friedman go, you could look at the Rays' numbers and the way that they're usually in the playoffs and in the hunt and be like, hey, they're a very well-ran franchise. Why are people not doing like they do in football and just trying to get anybody under Sean McVay's coaching tree to bring over? It's like, hey, Sean McVay, you're his water boy, or the guy that's pulling him off the field to not get ran over by a ref and get a penalty. I want you on my coaching staff. Go and do that with the Rays left and right, because they're a very well-ran organization, and they might be able to teach a team like the Rockies how to do better things, or teach a team like the Marlins to do better things. It's just like common sense, but no, they want to do it their way.
Yes and no. Bill Belichick had a tree, and every guy was lousy that came off of it. Not every tree bears fruit, right? Like Sean McVay is a good example of it working. Bill Belichick says, "Oh, get a bunch of Patriots guys." Other than Mike Vrabel, they all stunk, right? Like it's not as easy as all. Well, he worked for a smart guy, therefore you're a smart guy. A lot of the secret sauce is Andrew Friedman. A lot of the secret sauce is there's other good people, but the economics of this are real. A lot of this is just simply economically driven. And again, this has nothing to do with Kyle Tucker specifically. It's just another example of us getting closer and closer and closer to a confrontation, and it's coming. I don't know how long it's going to last. My hope is that the guys on the teams, not the owners of these teams, would rather have something going than nothing. I'd rather take half a loaf than no loaf, and we'll see. That's kind of where we've always landed on it before, but this feels different.
And here's the irony of things, Travis, with everybody complaining about the Dodgers. No team has paid more into the system than who?
Yeah.
The Dodgers. Luxury taxes, revenue distribution, record penalties. The Dodgers are literally funding parts of the league that they are being accused of breaking. Heck, the Dodgers, great. They signed Tucker and Diaz. Do you remember that they declined qualifying offers because they signed them and they're incurring penalties from exceeding the luxury tax threshold? They're going to be forfeiting their second, third, fifth, and sixth highest draft picks in the 2026 MLB draft. And guess who was voted the best farm system by MLB Pipeline? The Dodgers. Yeah,
no, I know that they've got that part, pretty well figured out as well. That's what makes them so scary. But we're gonna miss a lot of baseball. It's coming, and let's enjoy this season for what it is, I guess, because we might not get another one for quite some time. It's coming. It's not. It might. It is coming, and it's gonna stink.
And that's the thing. Perception matters. When the Dodgers sign top free agent after top free agent after top free agent, it becomes the easiest talking point for ownership groups pushing for structural change. And if there's a lockout in 2027, deals like this they're going to be Exhibit A right there.
It is Exhibit A.
Yeah.
They didn't make it up. It is Exhibit A. It's true. It's true.
And at the end of the day, they can be like, yeah, look, we're selling a lot of jerseys because we're winning. We're putting 4 million fans in the stands because we're winning. We can buy a Kyle Tucker because we're winning, even though the Mets were offering $55 million, even though the Blue Jays were offering a very long contract. But he decides to come here. Why? Because we're winning and because we're willing to offer a lot of money, and then also bend the knee with, okay, we'll give you the opt-out after year 2. Even they're smart. They weren't like, okay, like Blake Snell. Remember when he went to the Giants? What was it, 3-year deal, opt-out after every year? Mm-hmm. Over here, it's like, okay, we'll give you an opt-out, but year 2 and year 3, you're going to at least give us 2 seasons, and then you can figure out a way to not only come win 1 World Series and then leave. It's like, you got to give them credit, Travis. I know that you're going to give them hell for it, for us potentially missing some baseball in 2027 or all of baseball in 2027, but the Dodgers, they're just the standard bearer of baseball.
Year 2 might be in the year 2035, just so you're ready for this. It may be a while before we see year 2 because of everything that's gone down. It's not great. It's just not great. Sports is about competition, and this is uncompetitive. I don't love it. I like that the Dodgers are going to win a bunch of games. I don't like it for the sport of baseball. It's a very conflicting place to be in, because I'm thrilled the Dodgers got another good player. They got more than one good player. They got Edwin Diaz too, which feels like, oh yeah, I got him too. But it just kind of speaks to it. It is, you need a league. And this took us one step closer to not having, and not that the baseball is going to go away forever. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's not good for the health of the sport. We need other teams in the league that have a chance to win, and it's getting less and less likely that they have a chance to win.
You listening at home or on a podcast, walking your dog or driving wherever to work, whatever. Can you imagine how Travis is going to be when the Dodgers trade for a Tarek Skubal? Oh my Lord.
No, that's different. And that's different. That's working out a trade because this isn't just, we'll just scratch you a check and buy your house. This is, we got to work out something that is mutually beneficial for both of us. And this was not mutually beneficial for anybody other than the Dodgers and Kyle Tucker. Those are the only 2 people that are happy about this.
Which at the end of the day, for the Dodgers and Kyle Tucker, that's all that matters, right? And same thing, Tucker signs with the Blue Jays. That's beneficial for the Blue Jays. Yeah. And Kyle Tucker, it would have been a more competitive World Series, but I don't care. Kyle Tucker is a Dodger, and the rest of baseball and Travis just have to deal with it. All right, that'll do it for today's pod. Thank you for making Locked On Dodgers your first listen of the day, and thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. On Monday, I want to hear your thoughts regarding this signing. Are you Team Travis? Are you Team Harry? Are you Team rest of baseball? Or are you Team Dodgers? Head on over to our listener line. Drop a text or voicemail at 279-3-LOCKED or 279-356-2533 to be a part of our show with your takes. If you never miss an episode, the Everydayer Club is built for you. Get Locked On Dodgers ad-free, plus members-only Discord access and more. Head on over to LockedOnDodgers.supercast.com to join the club. For those on video, we send you to the first ever 24/7 national Locked On Podcast Network YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make your second listen Locked On MLB. Travis, that was a longer episode than we're used to, but it was awesome. Fun. It was worth it. Not every day you get Kyle Tucker to sign with the boys in blue. I mean, if you're a Dodgers fan,
it is every day. That's the whole point. They get somebody every day. It's ridiculous.
Hey, not every day. Every day. We would have 365 players on the roster if it were every day. But every offseason, we get to do an episode like this. And look, it's our first offseason doing Locked On Dodgers. Yeah. So at least we're able to do like Edwin Diaz.
There may be a 600-day off season coming up, so we'll have plenty of reps
to talk about it. Absolutely. Thank you, Travis. Appreciate you, brother. Have a nice weekend.
All right, man. You too. Congratulations.
Thank you. We appreciate you riding with us. Until next time, keep it real. Keep it Dodger Blue.